Welcome to Trailer Park, the podcast trailer podcast. My name is Arielle Nissenblatt, and I am your elusive host. Elusive because this is my first episode in a really long time, and it's the first non-AI voiced episode in an even longer time, and I'm sorry about that. It didn't feel right. Can you please let me know if you hated it? Please. Anyway, welcome to the show. On this show, I play podcast trailers, and then I critique those trailers. The goal of the show is to help you, listeners, find a new podcast to listen to, and to help you, creators, learn about making impactful short-form audio. We can do both of these things. I really believe in us, and you also might be both of those people at the same time. Inside of us, there are two wolves. Some of you may have noticed in the past few episodes that in the end credits, I'm shouting out somebody named Adam Flaherty, who is helping me with the production of this episode. So shout out to Adam, who also has suggested that I share how I critique the trailers. That's a really good question. He's right. I've never really explained that. It's not only on vibes, but it is pretty much me asking myself the following questions when I'm listening to a trailer. 1, was it entertaining? 2, was this trailer impactful? 3, did it make me want to learn more? 4, do I know who the hosts are and why they are the right people to be making this show? Those are some of the questions. It would be unfair, though, for me to hold each of the trailers that we feature on this show and that are submitted to us to the same standards, because they're just so different in terms of the production and who's behind them, the money that's behind the productions. There are so many different factors that goes into it. And because of that, there's no official rubric for the Trailer Park podcast when I am critiquing these trailers. But as always, I try to be constructive and I try to lean towards being overall kind and sharing the good that I hear in these trailers. Very rarely will I say something explicitly negative about one of the trailers that I'm featuring unless it really, really deserves it. So if you want to be that trailer that really, really deserves it, feel free to submit, and I'll tell you where to do that in just a few moments. I mentioned that there's no official rubric, but it does sound like a good idea, and maybe I will get on the creation of a rubric after I finish this recording. And I can also make different ones for different types of shows and for creators at different stages and with different budgets. So let me know, listener, if you think you know what should go into these rubrics, if you have any suggestions for me. If you are just joining me for the first time today, welcome to the show for the first time. Welcome to Trailer Park. I have a whole lot of episodes for you to explore, so definitely make sure to check out the back catalog in your podcast listening app. I'm really proud of all of the trailers that we've picked over the years and the feedback that we've given, the shows that we've recommended, the people that we've given more of a platform to. If you are back here for more, thank you for returning to Trailer Park. Here's a reward for you. We will actually start the show now. Let's get to today's trailer. The trailer that we'll be hearing today is for a show called Black and CULTivated, where the host, LaNisa Renee Frederick, takes us on a twisty cult journey as she works to figure out how her black-ass family, those are her words, ended up in a doomsday white supremacist cult. LaNisa shared the trailer for her show via the form on our website, which is trailerparkpodcast.crd.co. You can do that too. You can submit your trailer if you would like it to be featured and critiqued here. And we might just talk about you and your show on the next episode of this podcast. So let's hit play on the trailer for Black and CULTivated, and then I will be back at the end of it to talk about it and to critique it and to also say some nice things, I'm sure, about Black and CULTivated.
I'm LaNisa Renee Frederick, and I was born and raised in a doomsday, apocalyptic, financially abusive,
The story of money and the worldwide Church of God,
white supremacist cult.
And I'm black. So how did me and my black college-educated nice Midwest family end up in this? Hell, I don't know, but I am still trying to figure this out. Because let's be real, black folks, we don't really talk about being in cults. We usually just brush it off as some white people shit. Hell, white people brush it off as some white people shit. But we out here. Some of us are ready to talk.
When he decided I was going to be his wife, my mom was like, she's not ready, you know what I mean? She's 13. And he was like, we're not going to get married until she's 14 or 15.
Oh, thanks.
All of the things that society says, particularly to black folks, that you're not, the cults do. Cults fill those voids that the larger society says, and or your family says or doesn't say.
No one wakes up one day and says, you know what I want to do?
I want to be in a cult.
I want to join a cult. No one does that.
No, and I didn't know there was a cult as I was joining it.
I didn't pay for sex, but I paid to orgasm.
She did not pay for sex, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
So join me and other black and brown former cult members as we spill the tea and kiki over surviving cult life. Black and CULTivated, the podcast.
CULTivated. You love it or you hate it.
That was the trailer for Black and Cultivated. There are so many things that I want to touch on. I'll go in the order that I heard them. First, I loved how LaNisa pauses between each of those words at the beginning of the trailer. Really a big dramatic effect there. Doomsday, apocalyptic, financially abusive, white supremacist, cult. Under these words is an ominous music bed that does a really great job setting the scene but not stealing the show. It's not too loud. And then the switch flips and the tone changes completely. The trailer picks up the pace and it gets personal. The music goes from ominous to hip-hop, and LaNisa brings in voices from her guests that, even though they're talking about serious topics, are still funny and relatable. I think this trailer strikes the perfect balance between narration and guest tape from some of the episodes. We know exactly why it's LaNisa that's hosting this podcast, so we can give that a check mark on the non-existent rubric. Another thing that I love about this trailer is that even though the show hinges on LaNisa's experience having been in a cult, we get the sense from the trailer that it won't be over even if she fulfills the mission that she mentions at the beginning of understanding how her family got into this in the first place. There are other guests who are also former cult members, probably not the same cult, maybe also the same cult, so I don't really have to worry about falling in love with the show, falling in love with the host, falling in love with the concept, only to get X number of episodes. I'll know that the possibilities are endless because a lot of people have been in cults. Special shout out to the song at the end of the trailer. LaNisa had a song created for her show, High Achiever. The rubric is extremely checked off at this point. Overall, I love this trailer, and I'm excited to listen to this podcast. I am left with a few questions, some of which get answered in the show notes, such as when the show is dropping. But I still want to know, will the episodes be in an interview format? Will they be narrated by LaNisa with snippets from the guests? Will she be using these chats to gain perspective and to figure out more about her own family's experience? Or is each of the episodes and interviews in and of themselves a story and a focus on that guest? I think it's okay that we don't know these answers, actually, because the premise itself of the show is so striking that I want to hit play on the first episode anyway, so I can wait to find out about all of the above. And listeners, fun news. We actually have a clip from LaNisa herself just talking a little bit about how she made the trailer and some of the decisions that she made. And for those of you who have been listening to Trailer Park for a long time, you'll note that we are coming back with this segment. We used to do this a lot at the beginning, and then we stopped, and now we're back. So thank you to Adam, again, my producer, for encouraging me to bring this back, and thank you to LaNisa for sharing the following.
Hey, what's up? I'm LaNisa Renee Frederick. I'm the host and creator of the new comedy podcast, Black and CULTivated. When I started pre-production on Black and Cultivated, besides obviously wanting amazing episodes with huge numbers, I knew I wanted two other things. Number one, a bomb-ass theme song, and number two, a poppin' trailer. I like to think that I achieved both. The trailer specifically was important because as a voiceover artist and podcast addict, I know just how important trailers are. It's like your calling card, and you only got like 7 seconds to make an impression. Yes, I just made up that stat. I also wanted to leave the listener curious, so use music to help amplify my message, including the podcast theme song written by the talented Rufus Moore to help achieve that. Also, I got to shout out my amazing team that helped to review and edit the trailer, including Antonio Ruiz, Jamil Nelson, and Yinka Rickford Angwin. So we've released all 10 episodes of season 1, and looking back at the trailer, I do still think it achieves my original mission. The trailer is concise, it builds, and I use a few choice clips that really highlight the tone of the podcast. I have thought about revamping it with clips that I feel are even more catchy now that the pod is totally released, but honestly, I'm not sure if it's worth the effort now or if I should just wait to incorporate those notes into season 2. I also do think the trailer is more impactful, honestly, watching it versus listening to it, but that could be because I'm more of a visual person. Overall, I'm real proud of the trailer and hope it brings more listeners to Black and Cultivated. Thanks.
Listeners, what do you think about the trailer for Black and Cultivated? Let us know. Here are a few ways that you can do that. You can email us at hello@trailerparkpod.com. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and share your thoughts in that review. Maybe you've always wanted to leave a review for this podcast, but you never knew what to say. You can try that out. And you can find us on social media at trailerpark_podcast. That's it for this episode of Trailer Park, the podcast Trailer Podcast. Thank you again to LaNisa for submitting her trailer, which you can find a link to in the show notes of this episode, as well as wherever it is that you're listening to this show. We'll be back soon with another trailer that may or may not spark your interest as a listener and may or may not spark your creativity as a podcaster. You'll just have to tune in to find out. This show is produced by Adam Flaherty. It's written and hosted by me, Arielle Nissenblatt. It's edited and mixed also by Adam. It's hosted on OSHA. That's AUSHA.co. It's listened to by you. Until next time, happy trails.